Hey NBA 2K fans, back with another episode of my NBA2K MyLeague Series with the fictional rosters and the Hoosier Hobgoblins. This episode we're going to do our first contract extension with one of our favorite players, and so I was going to walk you through what's happening in terms of that contract extension. If you're new to the channel, I am Coach 2K. While you're here, hit that subscribe button. Click the bell too to get notified whenever I upload anything new so you don't miss a single episode of this MyLeague series or the other MyLeague series, the MyLeague My Career series that I'm doing. And I'll put a link to that up in the left-hand corner of the video so that you can have access to that series too and catch it from the very first episode. All right, well, with that out of the way, let's get started talking about our first contract extension. So a while back, our center Semi Bayo indicated that he was telling his agent he was open to negotiations to stay with the team for the long term. And so when I saw that announcement, I was like, cool. And so I've kind of put off, extending his contract until I took a closer look at it. It's been about a month since then. But that's where he announced that was on social media. So if you pay attention to the social media that's coming through, you'll see things like this to give you some indication of what's going on in the heads of your players. I also kind of make it a habit to kind of go through these ambition pages for each of my players every day that I go through the season to see, what they're thinking and what's going on. So in his mind here, he's saying he's open to a contract extension. So you'll find that information there if you happen to miss it on social media. Under your front office tab of your MyGM and MyLeague files, you're going to see this place says contract extensions, and that's how you find additional information on contract extensions, including whether or not one of your players is willing to re-sign, if they're undecided, or if they're ineligible for a contract extension. So let's take a closer look at what's going on in this area so we can figure out what we want to do with Semi Bayo's request to extend his contract. So here we're looking at all our players that are in the contract extensions section, and of course Byron Dantley is here. He's our main guy that we want to re-sign, and we got to figure out how to re-sign him, and right now he's undecided. So since he's undecided, there's not really anything we can do to sign him until he's ready to sign with the team. So we're trying to put wins on the books, and hopefully by the contract extension deadline he'll have decided he wants to re-sign. And in the meantime, we're trying to clear cap space by moving some players. I'll go over that in a second. Now Semi Bayo, here's where it says he'll re-sign with the team. So if you happen to miss it on social media or on his player card, if you're going in here periodically, you're going to see which players will re-sign. In his case, he will. And so it says he's expecting a $4.36 million contract. Now you'll notice here there's other players like Ruiz, who we signed as a free agent after the season started. He's ineligible for a contract extension, and he's ineligible because of his original contract length. So that's why he is ineligible. So if you see somebody's ineligible, if you click it, it'll tell you why, and this is the case because his contract length wasn't the right term in order for him to be eligible to do that. The other people in my team here are undecided, and so some of these players I'll eventually decide. I'll probably address them in the off season, trade them, something like that. So it just depends on how I want to handle those players. But these two guys, right? They're probably top of my list, and I kind of put off Bayo, re-sign him because I wasn't sure how that's going to affect Dantley's situation. So let me look at my salary cap and have a look at the salary cap situation and see if we got room to go ahead and do Semi Bayo's contract extension now and just kind of get that taken care of. So here we're looking at the salary cap table. You can see Bayo, he has his contract for $6.5 million this year, $7 million in 19 and 20. So when we're talking about his contract extension, we're talking about the years following that contract. So he'll continue to make what he's already agreed to in 18 and 19 and 19 and 20. So we're talking about these years out here, how we're going to fill that. Now, next year, we only got $14.89 million under the cap, and so he's somebody we want to re-sign, and we've got some other players we want to move, like Garnett and maybe Berzins and Cummings, to get those guys off and free up cap space so we can sign Dantley. So I don't really think Bayo's contract is going to be a factor here, because we're going to want to keep him and sign him. And so you can notice in the year 2021 we've got lots of cap space, $71.97 million in cap space. And even if we sign Dantley for 28, and we got the Juker up here for 27, that's 56,000. We're still going to have plenty of room to fit Dantley's $28 million contract in here if we're able to do that. So I think we can safely sign Bayo, and so we're going to enter contract negotiations with Bayo and see how that goes. Now, to enter contract negotiations with a player, you just select that player and hit X. And you can see here I'm on Dantley, and if I hit X, nothing happens. And that's because he's not open to negotiating his contract extension yet. So there's nothing you can do until that changes. So in Bayo's case, it says he will re-sign. So if I hit X, it's going to bring up this sign contract screen. And it says here he'll take $3.9 million salary for a 1-year deal. So what I kind of do when I look at these contracts is, first, the interest level is really high. And so I'm not opposed to giving him $3.9 million. In fact, that's a bargain compared to what he's getting. Now, he's a little bit older. He's 28. So he'll be 31 when this contract goes into place. So, 1-year deal, he's probably still going to be worth $3.9 million. As far as the years go, I can extend it to 2 years. And for some reason, that's the max I can do. And I really can't tell you why. So if anybody can tell me in the comments why I can only sign him for 2 years instead of going longer than that. I'm not saying I want to do that, but I just noticed that I couldn't go more than 2 years. Now, in this case, I'd really, because of his age at that time, I really would only want to sign him to a 1-year deal. But I think it makes sense to sign him for 2 years and then take a team option for a second year. And that way, if he's playing well and it looks like we want to keep him around, we have the option to bring him back. And we can bring him back without having to worry. It's our option. He can't turn it down because it's a team option. So now this type option, I just leave the contracts backloaded. I'm just going to go ahead and offer him what he's asking, and we're going to offer a contract to Semi Bayo, and he's happily accepted that offer. And so now he has been removed from the contract extension screen. And so let's go look at our salary cap situation. All right, so on the salary cap table, we can see Semi Bayo's new contract here for the 2021 season and the 21-22 season. So this is what we negotiated, except I did notice that in the case of his contract, we offered a team option for the second year, but the team option didn't come through. So let me show you how to correct that if you see that happen, so that you can make sure your contracts are set up properly. Now, to edit a player's contract, you actually got to go into the roster section and go to the player that you want to edit and select edit player. And then inside here, you're going to find their contract section. And so this is how I'm going to fix this. Now, this is some sort of bug. I don't know why it's a bug. It's just there. It's kind of frustrating. But I'm going to change this to team option. And I'm going to go down. Well, actually, let's just do that. I'll save it. I'll keep changes in return. And we'll go back to the salary cap table. And you'll see here that this team option now shows up here. So it should be over the $4.09 million. So what we're going to do is go back to the roster section. go back down to Bayo, edit player, and go back to his contract. Go down to his year 4 where it says 4.09 million. We're going to change that to 3.99, go to 4, and go to 4.1. And then we're going to save it again. And we're going to go back to the salary cap table. And you can see now it's fixed. So I don't know why you have to do that. It may not have to do that in all files, but I had to do it in this one. So if you run into that, that's how you take care of that. So you can get the contracts that you negotiated into the system the right way. Then what's kind of cool, if you check out his actual social media feed, you can see he says, "Hey, Hobgoblin fans, you know, he just re-signed, and our team announced that he signed on the dotted line." So that's pretty cool. You probably also notice that it changes his contract thought. So he's been re-signed. He seems happy, and we're happy to have him. And I'm happy that I got the team option fixed. So that's good. So let's talk a couple other things about the contract extensions, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, so under the contract extensions area, this Byron Dantley issue, we're hoping to re-sign him. So in the case of Dantley, you know, we've got to make sure we woo him somehow. I don't know. The only way that I can think to do it is if we go into his player card here. We're going to see he's extremely loyal. It's very important for him to play for a winner, and we've been winning games. So that's a good sign that we've been doing that. But I think more importantly, we've got to clear some cap space because we don't have enough cap space to sign him. If we have a look at that, let me show you the cap space again. So next year's cap space, you see we have $14.89 million. And in his case, he's going to want $28 million. So we've decided we want to try and get rid of Garnett and Berzins and Cummings to get those guys off of our contract, and we've updated our trading block previously to kind of let the other teams in the league know that we're looking to move those players. And so I'll be looking to also find some trades to kind of move these players as well. So here you can see the trading block. We've got Garnett, Berzins, Cummings, and also Rayshon Holmes and Edwin Taylor on there. So what we're hoping is that teams will recognize that and start sending us some offers. We're also here soon, we're going to kind of look at what teams might be interested in Garnett and figure out how to unload some salary here so we can free up room to sign Byron Dantley, so that if he decides he wants to re-sign with us, that we'll have the room to do it. Now, if he doesn't decide to re-sign, if he's undecided at the contract extension deadline, that's after the trading deadline in the calendar. So if he doesn't decide to re-sign with us by the trade deadline, then we're going to have to consider moving Dantley, unfortunately. So we'll keep a close look on that. All right, so that completes our contract. First contract extension. Here's a look at Semi Bayo's statistics this season. So you can see he's been playing pretty well, and we like to have him back on the team for the next 4 years. So we're happy that he's going to be here. So if you got any questions about contract extensions or how they work, put them down in the comments and let me know. And while you're here, also check out my other NBA2K videos, and I'll put a link to my MyLeague My Career Series so you can see how that's coming along too. I'll put that up in the upper left hand corner. In the meantime, I am Coach 2K. I'll see you on the court in the next video, and thanks for watching.